Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the SoFLo Sports Show. It's your host, 305 Sports Babe, co-host Lou from Dade. And tonight on episode 120, we have two special guests, not one, but two. Two of our friends too. Yeah. So even a sweeter deal. One's going to talk about the positives and everything that's going on. And one's going to kind of be like the real kind of break it down for us. So really looking forward to our two guests. We just got back from Carolina just a few days ago, and so did our first guest. So we're going to talk about everything that went down in Charlotte, the parties, the tailgate, the fans, everything minus the game. So all the good stuff. Yes. And then our second guest, he's going to break down last week's game with us, this week's matchup versus the Chargers, and then we're going to talk some Panthers hockey. So without further ado, love to bring on our first guest, Dolphreaky.
Hey, you guys. Thanks for having me on the show.
What's going on?
Oh, I'm still exhausted from the trip.
Right? I know, like, this was a short trip. I mean, granted, you drove, but I feel like it was just a long trip.
It was a lot. It was a lot of, like, action-packed fun. Like, as soon as we got there, so I worked a 12-hour shift, and then we got in the car and drove, like, another 12 hours, all said and done. I think we stopped and slept in the Buc-ee's parking lot for like 2 hours. And mind you, I had the kids with me. So we had the kids.
I didn't even know you had the kids with you.
Yeah. And so my Aunt Lisa, she lives in Carolina, like just like 15 minutes from the stadium. So she kept the kids while we were at the game and doing all the parties and everything. So that worked out good. But man, like I was exhausted when we got there. I feel like I still haven't recovered since. And now we're going into this next action-packed weekend, fan club weekend. So.
Oh my God. And you and I are no stranger to fan club weekends. I feel like we've done a million of them every year. They get bigger and bigger. Yeah. And we love them, but they're exhausting. And people start like today, they go through Monday. I mean, we're obviously good to be there Saturday and Sunday, but they and some of them stay. If the Dolphins were home next week, even though they go to Cleveland, most of them stay for 2 weeks.
Yeah, because we have people coming from all over the place. You know, I know that Dirk from Germany just got in town. Nice. There's people coming from all over the world for fan club weekend. And yes, they want to make the most of their trip, so they come for the whole week. And I know with your travel company, 305 Sports Travel, you guys have been helping people with this, and it's so awesome because then we can make sure that we get more and more people in for fan club weekend. It's just going to be bigger than ever. I mean, we're just completely outgrowing bow campers as it is at this point.
Very much so. So you mentioned Dirk and all the Germans, our good friend of the show and somebody who we've known on social media for a very long time, Lou and I. His name is Paul. He's coming from the UK. So he's in town for the first time ever. So we're going to show him a great time. But the list goes on and on. Just tons of great people, both from America and not. So we'll get into that in a little. So Charlotte. So let's talk about Charlotte. So you got there on Saturday, and so did we.
Right. And
so the first event on Saturday was the party Saturday night at Platform.
Yeah.
So this place here, I'm gonna put up some pictures. Wrong picture. Come on, get up there. There it is. Okay, perfect. So I think you guys got here a little later. This was one of the first when it was like less crowded. Believe it or not, this is like a less crowded picture that you took, Lou. And when we got there, we were there pretty much when it started around 6:15, and it was packed already. So I can't even imagine when you got there what you felt.
I was floored. So I think I got there about maybe an hour, like 45 minutes or an hour late. And that's not typical for me, just so you know. But when I walked in there, I was like, whoa, like there had to be 400, 500. I'm not even sure what the final count was, but that place was packed. And it's a huge place, like huge rooftop kind of situation. And wow, like when I walked in there, I was just bombarded with people. Like I could barely move through the foyer. And then once I started to get in there, I see Richmond Webb in one corner, being mobbed. I see you guys walking around. I see like Danny Johnson and TPP. They had their tents and their raffles, and just an incredible event that they put on, by the way. Shout out to TPP, the Charlotte fan club, Triangle fan club, all the fan clubs that came out.
Orlando, some of our greatest.
Donna, just an incredible thing. I know you guys travel a lot, and I do too, but I don't think I've ever seen an away game meet and greet like this.
No, that was probably the biggest. Even with MetLife, so we've done MetLife. Mm-hmm. MetLife is big like that, but it's spread out big, and it's only the tailgate. This was probably the biggest, like a social, like a Saturday party that I've ever seen.
And everybody was super welcoming, just
very
great.
much so.
I had never been. Ashley had been before. Allie, had you been to
No,
before?
it was my first time too.
My first time as well, and people could not have been nicer.
So
welcoming, giving us advice as to where to go.
Yeah,
the hospitality was tremendous, and I missed it already. The minute I landed back in Miami, I missed how nice the people were over there.
I know it. That's one of the takeaways too. Like, and just not even just the local Dolphins fans, but the Panthers fans were very welcoming and kind too. And so that was, it's always nice to go to a friendly city. And granted, like I know both of our teams were terrible, so like we were both like, anything can happen, and it wasn't like a real competitive situation, like a divisional game or whatever. But everyone was so nice, like really, like all the people we encountered throughout the city and stuff.
Super
like
nice.
It was really, really great.
So you mentioned when you came. I'm sorry.
No, I don't know who had the final clicker, but I've seen reports as high as 750. Somebody said 650.
Be careful, there might be a fire marshal in the chat, Lou.
Yeah.
Listen, I wouldn't be surprised if it got up to 750. There was Dolphin fans all over, and that was a tremendous venue. Like you mentioned, rooftop. They had Vegas-style TVs, so any game you wanted, they had one TV that had like 12 TVs connected to
really
it,
cool.
And they had baseball, hockey, basketball, football, any game you wanted to see, they had it. So it was a tremendous venue to host.
Yeah, I wish we had a venue like that here, somewhere locally, because I would love to have watch parties there. That place would have been clutch for watch parties. And I did ask some of them, and I said, like, this isn't the place you guys do the watch parties at, and they were like, no. And I'm like, well, this should be, because it was really, really nice. And
now you mentioned when you walked in, you saw somebody.
You're
talking about this man here.
Yes.
This guy. So Richmond, went to the event. It was an event based around Richmond. Obviously we've met him. That's our big brother. But there's so many fans who witnessed him playing in the 90s who, they idolize him and they love him, but they never met him. So they were in awe when they met him. But we actually had a double treat with this, because not only was Richmond there, we met his wife, Chandra, and we met his daughter. And I've never met his wife and daughter. And what lovely people.
They are so sweet. I actually did get to meet them on the cruise, the fan cruise a couple of years back. But yeah, I mean, really just all of them are just such great people. And it just like really lends to the fact that Richmond belongs in the Hall of Fame even more. Like, he's just a stand-up guy and so friendly out there with the fans, really just, I can't say enough good things about Richmond Webb. So put him in the Hall of Fame already.
Yes,
absolutely. So we wake up on Sunday and now it's game day.
Yeah.
And a tailgate. So this is the first tailgate put on by the Perfect Tailgate 72. Justin and Keith's new tailgate that TPP partnered with for this tailgate. We've also partnered with them for Atlanta. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah. And so before we get to the tailgate, I love this picture. We have a mutual friend. First of all, we have a lot of
DJ.
So look who you ran into. I actually ended up running into him on the way to the stadium. Talk about the nicest guy as well. I mean,
he really is. DJ and I, we've been friends for a long time, and we've seen each other at the drafts, different super fan parties and things. And he's always just great people. And I think he really represents his fan base well. And I like to see how he's cutting it up with the fans, and he kind of like, wanders around, talks to the kids. And it was like very, nice to see that. And, he's just an all around good guy and fun to party with. And
I got to shout out Dolphreaky Security, my man Jared. That's my guy, so let's not forget about him.
No, he's in the other room. I was like, you can actually stay in here if you want to hear. He's like, no, I'm out. But he's never very far away in case anything happens to throw down. So
yes. So let's check in the chat. Jimmy says hello. Miami Mike says hi. He's a big Dolphins fan from the West Coast.
Miami Mike.
My grandma said, Allie, your outfits are always so beautiful, always looking good.
Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet.
That's Joe. Okay, so we get to the tailgate, and I'm just going to put up a picture, and I want to know the first word that comes to your mind.
Family with a PH.
And then also another P word, packed. Can we just say packed?
And also, I want to mention that this picture it has cut off. At least, I want to say at least 50 fans on either side of the photo, because I was kind of on the end, and I think I was well towards the end. I could tell like how the guy was taking the photo that he wasn't getting us all in, but there was no way. Like, he would have had to been like way back up in the trees to get everybody. It was that packed. But you can see like there's just so many people there. It was such a great tailgate. It was so much fun.
I couldn't. I was trying to do a head count for that too, but I got to like 300 and I had to give up. There was a lot of people there at that tailgate. A lot. And it was just
I think they said they had sold over 400 of the wristbands, and that doesn't even count the people who just came to party and like didn't even have a wristband. So it was awesome.
One of my favorite parts of the trip was just meeting the fans who we usually don't get to see every week. This is a picture of Lou and I with the fans from the upstate of South Carolina. They were such a small fan group, and they've grown. So this is some of their members, just beautiful people on the inside out. I know that you love meeting the other fan bases as well. The fan bases, the different fan groups that we have. Some of them are super tiny, and then some of them are massive, but all of them come with so much spunk and just so much love. And events like this just bring us together, and it was fantastic.
That's what makes this worth it, you know, and even when the team is losing and, you know, losing really tough games like we've seen, like this makes it worth it to keep spending the money to travel. You know,
agreed.
Meet and greets are so rewarding. You know, there's just so much fun. Like we just all share a mutual love, but like it seems so silly to like all just like meet all these strangers over like a football team, right? But they're like, those people are there for us, you know what I mean? And like they really have like impacted my life in so many different ways, and like to see how the fan clubs are growing is just really, really awesome. And yes, those South Carolina folks, shout out to them because they were like the most excited to meet us, I think. And really, really, really just genuinely sweet people. So
very sweet. And I one more for you. So we mentioned, you know, we obviously travel different cities. We've encountered different types of fan bases, and you know, so we'll just keep it like that.
Yeah.
How would you rate the Carolina Panthers fans in regards to just friendliness? Would you say they are the friendliest? What was a takeaway from the Panthers fans? Florida, not the Carolina Panthers. I might have said Florida Panthers. Sorry, I mean the Carolina Panthers fans.
It's hard to rank them, I guess, but I would put them towards the top because, like, my top fan base I think so far has been the Indianapolis fans. Like we just walked into bars and they were cheering for us. Like groups of Colts fans were cheering for Dolphins fans. That was unusual. And they were buying us drinks. You know, I feel like they were like the top echelon of fan bases for like places that I've traveled. There's a lot of places I haven't traveled yet, so I can't really like speak for some of the other ones. But I would say that the Panthers, like they were on a friendliness level, definitely like I would give them like a 10 out of 10.
Agreed. No, I think they were fantastic. Lou and I, you know, we're going to tell you, when we went to Buffalo a few weeks ago, Buffalo Bills fans were super, super nice to us.
Yeah,
they're actually
surprising.
Our top 2 or 3, if not 1. But that's another story. So, Allie,
they were nice to me too when I went. Also, really? That was and it was a playoff game too, so it was kind of brutal. But they, the Bills fans were nice.
We should have won that game too. Skylar Thompson had us in that game. We should have won that one. So
that was heartbreak.
Yes, it was. So I've been this was my 20th Dolphin game. I'm actually 10-10 now. I'm back to 500. But I could say without question, the best one that all 3 of us were at was in Baltimore.
Oh my goodness!
The Dolphins were down 35-14. Of course, that was the Charm City comeback, and the Dolphins came back from down 21 points and won that game.
I'll never forget it.
42-38. We were sitting together.
Yeah, great
and it's going to be hard to knock that one off the list. That's got to be number 1.
It was because it started so badly, and Ashley and I were like, "Let's just start drinking." We're drinking and drinking and drinking. Halftime comes, and then all of a sudden we're just climbing back into it. And then we had a great party afterwards that Ash and I co-hosted, and there were so many fans there too, and they were spilling off into the street, and it was some of those are my core memories.
Such a good time. So Al, before I let you go, let people know first, where are you going to be this weekend? Obviously down here, but will you be at Bo Campers? Where can they find you this weekend? Yep. And then second, share about your new show, your new adventure, and plug that in.
Yeah. So Saturday from 2 to 6, like you guys, I'll be at Bo Campers in Oakland Park. That's our standard fan club weekend get-together location. And I know we're just going to pack the place out. It is so much fun. So you guys have to come out for that. And then afterwards, I did see today that they made a little bit of an after party from 8 to 10 at the Ocean Bay or someplace like that.
Real close
I'll reshare it. I don't know if I'll make that one because I'm planning to go to Dare nightclub for the A-Craze DJ. So you guys should come out for that because that'll be fun. So I'll just post things to my story as they develop, because things can change in a matter of minutes around here. But yeah, so I started a podcast with Mike Oliva and Dolphins Talk, and it's just
Mike's
like
great.
kind of like a whenever we feel like it podcast, like nothing really scheduled, or just
fun.
positive, silly goofiness. I don't want to like get too much into the X's and O's, because there's just so many like podcasts that already
this year,
do
Al.
that.
It's okay. It's not really that good this year.
There's nothing to talk about. Yeah, first of all.
You're
So
doing
we just do some silly stuff and like plug the fan things. And Mike likes to play some games and tell some jokes and things. So it's really like just fun, like 20 minutes a week or whatever. So you can follow that on dolphinstalk.com.
Yeah, Dolphins Talk's great. Mike's great. And on the last Freak Show, I think you had a special appearance. Your cat was getting involved in the backdrop there. So that was fun to watch.
He tried today too, but I kicked him out. I'm like, that's not going to work.
No, we are very animal friendly. Well, I'll go ahead. Yeah.
So before we let you go, a couple rapid questions for you. I know you love the rivalry jerseys. They're starting to grow on me. It takes a little bit getting used to, but I can say that seeing them in person, I was really impressed and I was on board with it. But I want to know, I think everybody wants to know, what is Dolphreaky's favorite uniform combination? Are you more the old school girl? Do you like the new one? I know you like the rivalries, but old school versus new school logo. What do you like best?
I hate to say it, but I feel like the rivalries is it, and I want it to be permanent. I just feel like they look tough. They look so tough, and like people want to make fun and say, "Oh, it's black or it's blue," or I couldn't see the numbers on the TV or whatever it is. Like they could be reworked a little bit, but I just think we look tough, and the Dolphins are like our logo is kind of not that tough, and I think that helped like bring some fire, and plus it was exciting for the fans to wear something different, and I love it. But obviously my second thing would be throwbacks. The aqua throwback is my favorite after that. So
that's mine. Perfect. All right. And then the last thing I got for you is, I know you got a side passion now. You're a storm chaser. I was talking with your partner in crime, Jason, who I kept on. We were talking about go away from the cow, and he's saying I'm going towards the cow.
He told me.
I'm like, no, get away from the cow, Jason. So you've made him, and you are now also you're chasing these storms. And what's that like to have this new passion? That's pretty awesome.
It's not a new passion. Like it's something that like when I was in pharmacy school, I realized, I was kind of doing the wrong profession, and that maybe I should have become a meteorologist, or, I've been following Reed Timmer and all these other storm chasers, and, all the storm chasers are different. Some of them are more like about the photography aspect of things. Some are more about the research. Some are just about the thrill and, social media and, giving people access and things. And I just have been obsessed with tornadoes since I was a teenager. And so it wasn't until recently that I was like, I always thought you had to go on one of those tours and spend like $3,000 a person and go in a van with a bunch of tourists and, whatever. And then I'm like thinking to myself, there's no reason why we can't do this. Like if I study and I learn how to do this safely and we get the right equipment and the right car and everything, like we could do this. Awesome. And so Jared's kind of like, it's a little dangerous. I'm not sure I'm into it, whatever. But my best friend, Jason, he was like, let's go, let's do it. And I'm like, okay. So I studied, I took courses, and I did like 9 different courses on how to read radar and how to, do this safely. A lot of like chasing safety courses and things like that. And we went out to Oklahoma and Texas. Amazing. And unfortunately, the weekend that we went, that I had designated as the week to go, there was 0 storms in Tornado Alley in the peak season. And it broke my heart, but it was kind of like, I felt like it was the universe telling me like, maybe you're not ready yet for this level. So I was like, okay, I'll dial it back. I'll do some more studying. I'll chase around Florida. And so that's just what I'm doing now. And unfortunately, we're not having storms here either. I mean, fortunately and unfortunately, I guess. Yeah. But I mean, every once in a while, I catch a nice thunderstorm off the beach. Like today, I did a little bit chasing.
You got a lot of big ones out there on the West Coast.
I know.
Fort Myers area out there on the west, and you get some mean ones out there.
Yeah, you guys get some water spouts. Like I'd be satisfied with a few water spouts here and there. I'm not trying to have any devastating tornadoes happening here in Florida, but I do plan in the off season to go out to the plains and do this for real. So,
well, we look forward to seeing your journey, but of course, you and Jason and Jared, be safe.
Yes.
It is not like you guys are going for painting classes or, horses or anything. You were doing something very, very big.
Yeah. And we're not trying, like, a lot of people get it twisted. They're like, you're not trying to like drive into the tornado, right? I'm like, no. Like, I'm completely content to see them from afar. I'm not trying to, like, I don't need to shoot rockets into the thing. Like, I'm not, I'd be cool with some pictures and some photography. I've taken up photography as a little bit of a side thing, but I'm trying to stay away and try to stay safe and still, do my passion. So.
Well, listen, if you're not following Allie already, come on. What are you waiting for? It's not just the Dolphins. She's a storm chaser as well. You run the fan club. I know Zach Thomas actually made it out to one of your fan club watch parties, which is awesome to have.
Again, another top core memory that I have. When he just walked into our bar one day and
so cool.
I'm just shrieking, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Oh, I was in town and I thought I'd stop in. I saw it was your bar." I'm like, "Oh my God, the fan club they loved it." But shout out to the Southwest Florida Dolphin Club. I love you guys. We've had a tough season, but please continue to support the watch parties. All fan club watch parties, please, because when the team sucks, the watch parties dwindle, and people, I understand it. People don't want to spend their money, out at the bar when they could watch it at home from the couch. But please, like, come out. It's about family too. Family in the fandom, and
your post the other week was fantastic. It was so spot on, and you just nailed the hammer on the head. It was fantastic.
Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thanks so much.
Opinion with you with Charlotte. You said everything. It was a great trip, short trip. Unfortunately, we didn't get the win, but that's why we have George to talk about that, because Allie's a positive girl, so we have to bring Georgie smiling in the background.
Gotta keep it positive. It's getting hard now, guys. It's getting hard.
We'll see you this weekend. Safe travels over to the East Coast of Florida. We'll see you Saturday. And guys, stop by East 12. Allie has an amazing tailgate her 10, the Freaky Juice.
Freaky Juice.
It's undefeated.
Come get the Freaky Juice. I'm gonna have a lot of it because it's gonna be a big tailgate. So come on out.
All right, girlfriend. See you Saturday.
See you later. Bye.
Bye. All right. So, George, you weren't in Charlotte, but you watched that game. So, how you doing?
Good. What a setup. You guys set me up.
That led into it nicely, right?
Finally get to come on your show. Two of my favorite people. You guys are. I just want to tell everybody, you guys are as pleasant in person as you are on the screen. So
thank you. Maybe not a small in person, but no, just kidding. No, we feel the same about you. We were talking about you last night, and I said George is just freaking awesome. That night that we had 2 weeks ago at the cigar bar, when the first time we met in person, I was like, Lou, this guy is A1, like amazing. So we feel the same. We have a romance with you as well.
And we love everything you're doing on the Vince Faithful podcast. You're doing, like, it seems about like 9 shows a week. It seems it's fantastic. Listen, before the game, after the game, leading up to the game, you're covering every angles of it. So you're the perfect man to bring on here and break this thing down, because obviously, the Dolphins dropped another one. We were there to witness it. Yep. I know you were there you were covering it as well from down here.
He saw it. Yep, he saw it
too. So let's get into it. We're going to show a couple pictures.
All right.
One of the few bright spots after an interception. Dolphins celebrating in the end zone. But after the 17-0 lead, there was very few to celebrate after that. And so, what was your opinion? First of all, heading into the game and all the coverage that you did leading up to it, what was your take, and what did you think was going to happen?
I thought, to be honest, this was the perfect recipe for them in this game. What they didn't do, like what they struggled with, I thought Carolina didn't do well. And I mean, you look at that picture and just go back to where your mind was at, where we thought, okay, we got this game, and then to what you felt after the game, doing the live post game. And by the way, thank you guys. Anytime Lou asked you guys to come on a few times, I appreciate that. By the way,
we love that. We really do enjoy. It's kind of like a good.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Frank, did you guys see Frank the Tank on our post game? He had a rant.
Yes.
I don't know. I got to check that out. Oh wow.
I have it on a YouTube short. But anyways, where we at the game? I couldn't wrap my head around it after the post game show, because we go instant reaction. I'm thinking, what happened? And the fact that they didn't target Darren Waller in the second half. I think what really happened is they kind of, and it's kind of a microcosm on a bigger picture. What's wrong with this team is they stopped running the ball. You got to run the ball even when it's not successful. It's what the play action, the RPO, those linebackers freeze, come up, come back. You got to run more, and they didn't. And it was a total collapse, and it's on the defense. To me, I don't know about you guys, but the most surprising thing to me is the defense, the front seven, how much they've struggled.
Yeah,
And,
Anthony Weaver, somebody who, I personally put my heart and soul into believing this guy, and what's going on with that?
Yeah. You cannot. I did say be careful with this game. The one thing is because Lou and Ash is because the one win the Falcons have is a home game, and they won 30-0 versus the Falcons. So I think Bryce Young on the road's record's 1-15. So they're better at home, but you cannot have 19 yards rushing and the other team over 200 yards. And you made Rocco Whittle, whatever his name is, look like Gale Sayers, Barry Sanders, name the great running back and insert it. You can't have that. They didn't deserve to win the game based on how they acted that second, third, and fourth quarter. And just too many excuses. And it's just, to me, we could say it was a fireable offense on all levels. It was such a huge game for Mike McDaniel. And we had a show yesterday, guys, to end the vicious cycle with Dante Collinelli.
Great
because
show.
I truly feel, it was great. It really was. I truly feel that game was the breaking point for the fan base, that enough is enough. Enough is enough. Like, we've had enough. You guys have been fans of this team. We cover the team, but we got into this because we're fans of the team. And not only all the merchandise, I said it last night, it's not the merchandise. It's the time we invested in this team emotionally. And it's time for them to give us something back. Ross has invested on the other side he's brought in F1. He's brought in, he's revamped the stadium. That's all great. But it's time to do what matters most to us, and that's on the field product. And things got to change.
So I want to tell you something that you would really, I don't know if you're going to appreciate it, but I just got to let you know.
Okay.
So the Carolina Panthers, when they started getting hot in the second half, our Florida Panthers, you know how we do that?
Oh, they have that, yeah.
They did the same. My eyes just lit up. They did the same
one. I know.
Exact same one. So not only is this team coming back and eventually beating us, I have to hear them using my fight, girl, against me. George, I'm telling you, if that didn't mess me up, I'm like, okay, to keep pounding, that's on them. That's the original them.
Yeah.
But don't use my Florida Panthers. So that was a real.
Speaking of that, they gave away this cool poster.
That's cool.
It's got the Dolphins logo and with the Panthers there and the big, the growling panther, if you will. So that's cool.
The other Panthers.
I love the Panthers. The Carolina Panther colors. I love them.
Yeah.
And then Ashley and I always try to pick up these first game, to commemorate our visit. So that's pretty cool. We got that. But no, man, to your point, you wanted, when you go up to 17-0, and we could all agree this is a game that was penciled in by many as a victory for the Dolphins. It should have been as poor as Carolina has played, and then also having their first string running back and Chuba Hubbard being out. You think, oh, this is going to help us, but then Rico Dowdle out of nowhere, comes out 206 yards rushing. And then while the Dolphins are going up 17-0 while that's transpiring, with Waller scoring a touchdown, now 3 touchdowns in his 2 games played, they go away from that. They can't get the running game going. Only 19 yards on the ground. That's despicable. There's no way where in a backfield where you have Achane, who's all running back all world, and you got an Ollie Gordon that you drafted as a big back, explosive. You only mustered 19 yards total. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And then, George, you couple that with the fact that Carolina had 2 turnovers. The Dolphins had nothing. I don't know how you had a 17-point lead, 2 forced turnovers, and you can't maintain it and allow them to come back and win the game. It's just unexplainable.
Yeah, it's like Carolina said, okay, you know what? They kind of tried to pass a little bit with Bryce Young in the beginning. Bryce is obviously he's not very good. So they had 2 turnovers. They said, you know what? Let's just run the ball. And even the announcers of the game, run it to the right side. I mean, you put on the all-22, and it's, I love Kenneth Grant coming out. And look, these young guys, let's give them a chance. Derek Brown, who they played yesterday, on last Sunday, was a beast of a defensive tackle. Wasn't Derek Brown his rookie year. Christian Wilkins wasn't, Christian Wilkins' rookie year. But what happened to Zach Sealer? And I don't know if it's a chemistry issue or they're game planning for him, or these rookies don't understand how to play off Zach. But here's the problem. And the Dolphins are like last in most all defensive line rankings. They're like last in yards given up and last in yards rushing game. That's your formula. You're not going to win games if you're last in that. That's as simple as that. We're in year 6, 7 in the rebuild, and the line of scrimmage is worse. I mean, you want to know why they're losing? That's it right there.
Yeah, the trenches. I mean, you got to improve those aspects of your football team, or you're going nowhere. And then look, the fact that we could be 0-5. Let's be real. The Jets game, they had 101 yards on penalties, on 13 penalties, and they had 3 turnovers in that game, 3 fumbles. So if not for that, and we only won by 6 points, if not for one of those, let alone 3 of those turnovers on their part, and again, 101 yards of football length plus 1 yard in penalties from an undisciplined team, we should have lost that game, because against any other team, you don't win that game. So that was embarrassing. And then I want to go inside the numbers. I love my numbers.
Yep.
Rico Dowdle, let's talk about this. 206 yards running. Backup running back, by the way.
Did he call that? Did he call it in the post-game show? He says his team told him he's getting 180 plus. That's crazy.
That's sad. It's a sad statement on the Dolphins defense. In 31 years of the Carolina Panthers, you know how many 200-yard games they've had? Guess.
1 or 2?
3. That one on Sunday, all right, and then the other 2 were D'Angelo Williams in 2012 and Jonathan Stewart in 2009. So D'Angelo Williams, Jonathan Stewart, and Rico Dowdle, your only 3 times in the 31-yard history of the Carolina Panthers that they've had a 200-yard rusher. Incredible. The Dolphins, I'll go with the Dolphins, 60 seasons. Guess how many 200-yard games we've had?
1, 2.
No, a little more than that. We've had 6. 6.
Wow.
Jay Ajayi actually has 3.
I remember.
Ricky Williams had 2, including the all-time running against Buffalo, 228 yards. And then Achan, Bush, and Lamar Smith each with 1. But still, you're talking about a combined 91 seasons, and this has only happened 9 times combined between 2 teams. That's how rare it was, and that is how bad the Dolphins' defense has been.
Yeah, great numbers. Yeah, it's simple. Until you can't stop the run and you run the ball, you're not going to win. And people talk about a lot of things, and it's the bigger issue. And we got to talk about the bigger issue. We talked about it last night with this team. To me, I've said this, and look, there's a small percentage they turn around and they win 7 games, 8 games. That's all great. But forget about all that. I said it last night. This entire organization needs a fresh mindset. Fresh. The paint on the walls, the parking lot, to the secretary, to the front desk, everything. Like, don't do what they're probably going to do, guys, is they'll promote like Chap Kelly and reshuffle Greer and all that good stuff. And we'll just be sitting here 5 years from now talking about the same crap. I mean, Ross is a great businessman. He's already made profit in this organization. He's already sold and made the money he bought the team with. But he's got to stop accepting mediocrity. It's just, and I said this: they're rewarding comfort, not demanding excellence. To me, that statement to me rings true. They're rewarding comfort. He's comfortable with Chris Greer. He likes him. I'm sure he doesn't do that in his real estate business. So, unless that changes, the mediocrity is good. I call it the merry-go-round of mediocrity.
George, I wish you were in North Carolina with us, because even though the outcome sucked, we had such a great time. Like, the loss was a little less painful. Like, here, even Juan from North Carolina, him, his beautiful wife, his stunningly beautiful daughter, who I call her, she's a little cheerleader, I say. Yeah. We met so many great other fans that I can tell you this loss wasn't the most. If our fans weren't there and it was just like Lou and I, it would have really stung. Yeah. But having such a great fan base there of our Dolphins helped the loss a little bit. But let's move forward and talk about this week. So I'm just going to start with Tua. The Tua Herbert saga will continue this week. The narrative that goes on and on and on, first of all. On top of that, Tua has been limited in practice for an injury that we're starting to hear about now, but they're kind of hushing it. And then on top of that, Tua comes out with a statement that people are like going crazy about, that pretty much he says, and I, summarize it. He pretty much says, I go out there, I do my job, and then I really don't care about it because I come home to my kids. So
I didn't like that comment, though. I don't know. I mean,
I don't like a lot of his comments recently.
Yeah.
It's almost like he got the money and he's showing who truly he really is. I don't like a lot of his comments. He's very set in bull crap. He hears everything. Bull crap. He's too damn sensitive. The way he's so defensive, he hears it. I stuff like that just bothers me. And this kind of the mindset of people were saying this team was soft. They're not physically soft. It's here. They're mentally soft, and that starts from the top. And that's why with Tua and the hip, it's the hip injury, right? Apparently today, did you guys see he was fine, and Frank Smith said he was fine. He's going to play, but that's how it all starts,
So are you going to use it as a crutch this week if he really, has a bad game? Where you say, he was injured? No, we can't.
This is a narrative-driven game. My partner on the Phan Phest, Jason Sarni, has predicted this was the game that after McDaniel will be fired if they lose this game, because it's the Herbert game. There's a lot of things. Jim Harbaugh, the coach, the coach you wanted to get. There you go.
So Lou, go ahead. You bring up your numbers.
But no, go ahead, George. You were saying.
No, go ahead. I'm done. That's great numbers. I love your numbers.
No, listen, you mentioned it. Harbaugh also, because let's be real. Stephen Ross is from Michigan, and Jim Harbaugh was at Michigan they flirted with the idea of him taking over, and Ross didn't land him, so he couldn't get his own guy from Michigan. So now the fact that Jim Harbaugh is linked to Justin Herbert, who of course we could have drafted. We picked 5th. We selected Tua. The Chargers ended up with Herbert, the very next pick. So these two will forever be linked together.
For sure.
And there you see the stats. I mean, I wouldn't say it's overly better than Tua. Yeah. 15-game difference because Tua's had a lot of inability to stay healthy. But, you did see the numbers there where Herbert has a lot more touchdowns thrown. He's got a lot more rushing yards. It's not listed on there. Now, the one thing that they're both lacking in is success in big games. Neither have won playoff games. So 0-3 combined. Herbert's 0-2. Tua's 0-1. He should have been 0-2, but he wasn't available for that game against the Bills. But, two quarterbacks that at 6 years in have only really afforded their teams 4 playoff appearances, 2 each. So what's your take on the comparison and how big is this game on Sunday to reflect, that we selected the right guy, if you will?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think the answer is already we didn't select the right guy. And look, not that Herbert's been so much better, but I put it to you this way: when you zoom out, it's beyond the stats. Who would you rather have for the next 4 years? Justin Herbert. And it's easy because how much longer is Tua going to be sustaining this before he gets another injury? I'm not the biggest Justin Herbert fan, but he's had come along. He's got the size. Everybody likes him because he's got the arm strength, the size. He's good looking, 6'5". You get off the bus in the lobby. Your wife probably obsesses over Justin Herbert. You know what I mean? So that's people like the curly hair blonde quarterback, but it's beyond that. It's the long term look. I asked you guys, next 5 years, who would you rather have?
Oh, it's Herbert.
It's not even close. So the answer is you probably already made the wrong decision on getting a quarterback with that hip injury. I always said this statement, and look, Tua's not the biggest problem on this team. Tua played fine last week. They're asking Tua now to do things he can do more than he can't these last few weeks. I like the game plan a little bit, some of it. But the Dolphins didn't draft Tua Tagovailoa, they drafted Tua. And that's to me what the issue is. It's almost like they drafted the idea of Tua. Not to say they didn't think he was a good quarterback, but you should never draft a quarterback with that kind of injury in the top 5. And I think some of it now we're seeing, Lou and Ash, he's 27, but is he an older 27 with this hip injury?
Oh, yeah.
His strength is not outside the numbers, but you saw that throw he made last week on the run where it just died. He's lost some of that juice. He had enough juice in 23 and even in 24. So, yeah, I would say probably made the wrong decision. I'm not the biggest Herbert fan, but, it's clear. I'd rather have Herbert going on here long term.
Definitely. So the Chargers are 3-2.
Yeah.
And
started off hot, but have lost their last
Commanders,
2 here.
They lost it against the Giants, which the Giants are another whole issue in itself. Poor New York and the Yankees too. Those fans up there, the Yankees, the Giants, man, those are my people up there, but y'all are struggling. So this is our show where we like to drop in predictions. So, George, you start. Everybody in the chat, you know the deal. We haven't been right, guys. I'm just going to call us all out here. Our predictions have not been good. We've all said pretty much Dolphins every week. We have not been right. But guys, drop in the chat what you think your prediction, what you think the Dolphins' final score is going to be this week against the Chargers. Fan Club Weekend kickoff 1 o'clock at Hard Rock. George, what do you say as they go live in the chat?
George, before you start, sorry, I just want to mention, by the way, Omarion Hampton, the star rookie running back for the Chargers, he's out. So that's got to bode well for us, right? I mean, we thought that last week. A lot for a second string running back, right?
Yeah. When I look at this game, I got a funny feeling the Dolphins could pull this one out. It's crazy. I usually don't have this feeling this year. I have it. And I picked him in the the pick'em league. You see Finn Sammy in there. His pick'em league. I picked the Dolphins.
Sammy's here. Adrian's here. Sammy also said, I don't mean to cut you off, but I have to say, Sammy said, the Yankees lose. So today, an amazing video clip. I sent it to one of my favorite priests. He's a Dominican priest. That there's a clip of Big Papi and Vladimir Guerrero saying the Yankees lose. The Yankees lose. So I think that's what Sammy's referring to because it is the funniest.
No, that's the thing. That's the
announcer. But no,
they made fun of it.
It is, but that's the clip that came out.
It's the Yankees lose.
I can picture Sammy saying that. He talks.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's the Big Papi. The Yankees lose.
That's Sammy. Yeah, Sammy would say. You said it, not me.
So go ahead.
Prediction. Yeah, I look at the Chargers. You said it, Lou. They got off to a hard start. They lost the last few. Their offensive line the last 3 weeks are like 30th in the league in pass protection. Their both tackles are hurt. I think if this is the game where they can finally unlock a pass rush, they got a chance and obviously stop the run. I think they got a chance to keep it close. I'm wavering, but I'll go Chargers 24-21 in a close one.
Crazy Dolphin in the house. Good evening with the shout out to everybody. All right, Adrian, I always refer to Adrian as a realistic. He's not a negative. He's a realistic. So Adrian in the chat, 31-17 Chargers. Juan from North Carolina, our pal, says 27-17 Chargers. Then he also said, unfortunately. So he's covering that up, saying, hey, I don't want it to happen, but that's what I'm thinking.
What are the two questions there? Or the two?
And then hold on, Miami, Mike from West Coast. I'm gonna upset on this game. I know I'm wrong, but Miami 27, Chargers 21. Lou, what did you want me to say?
No, put up the two. Take these out and put it, or that one. Put up the question.
Okay,
you can take this one out.
Got it. All right. So let me,
But yeah, so the Chargers, dropped 2 straight here. But look, as you mentioned, not only is this huge for the Tua Herbert and just the morale. Not yet, though. Just take it off a second. Mm-hmm. The morale of the team, and you got to take that out. Take that out. Yeah. So the fact that we have not just the Herbert Tua angle and storyline, but definitely Harbaugh against McDaniel, and similar to how you said that everybody would rather have Herbert, I think nobody's going to question that they would rather have Harbaugh as a head coach.
That's
as opposed to what's been happening down here with the total breakdown, not being able to hold a 17-point lead, clock management, players showing up late to meetings. I mean, it's been one fiasco after another. So. Yeah.
Sammy said yes. He was referring to what I was referring to, the clip that came out today, that the Yankees lose. Yeah. Hilarious. I'll retweet it. Sammy also said Chargers are going to beat the Dolphins as well.
Okay. So listen, while everybody's giving the prediction, we have our show contest going on, our questions. And so we want to first put up the leaderboard.
Let's do it.
So here's the leaderboard. Miami Mike, who's in the room, he's leading. He's tied with Sheldon. He's tied with Sheldon at 4. Kirk, who was in the room earlier, he's got 3. And Eduardo 3. The Let's Get Louder pod has 2. Russ 2, Steven 2, and Adrian, the Rainy Day pod is 2. George, you got 1. I've been asking some I thought were layup questions, but they're tougher than they seem to be because people aren't getting them right. So, that's our leaderboard right now. And George, I'm going to give you the first crack. Or actually, if you want to wait a little bit, let I don't want you to influence.
He is an influencer.
But here, since this is Herbert versus Tua week, here are your 2 questions this week. Who will have a better passing completion percentage? So who is between Herbert and Tua? Who is going to have a better passing completion percentage? And then the second question is, who will have less turnovers? Is it Herbert, Tua, or even? So those are your 2 questions.
Just put it in the chat. You know the deal.
Think about it. There's obviously a lot on the line, not just in the football game, but a lot of side angles here. And this is maybe the headline story. Tua drafted 5th overall. Herbert drafted 6th overall. So here are your 2 questions. Who will have a better passing completion between the 2? And then who will have less turnovers? Go ahead. Drop it in the chat.
I got mine ready if you want it. Yeah, actually, I agree with Adrian. I think Tua will have a better completion and less turnovers, Herbert.
Okay.
Perfect. Crazy Dolphin also dropped his score prediction. He's 30-21 Chargers. But yeah, Adrian is with you, George. Tua with a better passing completion percentage, but less turnovers is going to be Herbert. Miss Finn's in the house. Miss Finn, stay tuned because we have a beautiful picture of you that we're going to show up real soon from this week's Panthers game. More predictions. Jimmy says Herbert and Herbert. Okay. Juan says Tua and Herbert. So
I like that Tua and Herbert. Maybe we could combine both quarterbacks. Tua, Herbert. Combine them too. Maybe that would help us, And we can combine the two. We'll see.
Miss Finn's dropping her score prediction. She got 22-17 Chargers. So heavy in the chats favoring the Chargers. Guys, I cannot blame you. Given our track record this season, I mean, I don't know what the line is yet for this week's game, but it's just tough.
It started off at 4.5, and then it dropped down to 3.5. And I think at last look, it was 4. So it's a 4-point spread. The Dolphins are underdogs at home. And I think rightfully so. I mean, based on what we've seen, I don't think how anybody could, speaking about the Finn's Faithful pod, I don't know if people can have faith in this team, with the way that they've shown us or what they've not shown us out there. And so they should definitely be underdogs at home. Absolutely.
Yeah. And people say that, the Browns game coming up, there's no game where they should be, maybe the Saints game. But every game, unless things turn around, they're going to be they're not going to be heavy. They'll be most likely the underdog in majority of the games coming up.
Yep. No doubt.
Adrian says the best part of this weekend will be Saturday. Obviously, you guys know it is Fans Club weekend. Saturday.
I'll be there.
You will be there. Excellent.
Yeah, I'll be at the game too. I got tickets. So the post-game show is going to be at night. So there's no live after. So I'll be at both events.
No, that makes sense. Nice. So Adrian says best part Saturday. I'm actually really looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow, I have a girls' dinner at a really fancy Italian restaurant with some of our friends. I have Tiff, Planty, Courtney, and also Doll. So all of us are meeting for a nice little Italian dinner, us four ladies. So it's going to be a great – I mean, I never get to see them. So.
I guess I didn't get the invite. I mean, I got boobs too, by the way.
Lou, where are we going tomorrow night, man?
Hey, there you go. Hey, I'll call you after the show, man.
No, it's going to be nice. Something. You guys know Tiff, obviously Planty, Courtney, and Planty, Leslie, and then Courtney Doll. So we're doing a nice little Italian dinner in Fort Lauderdale tomorrow early on, just to get to see each other, and then But the reason why I said that is because Adrian asked. Adrian's like, "Oh, what time?" I said, "Bro, this is the girls only thing."
There you go.
So Adrian already tried to crash.
Unless you want to show up, see what happens. Right?
All right, so let's see you there. I'm bringing gifts. Sammy's bringing gifts. Sammy,
okay. Nice. All right, there you go.
Sammy's bribing us. There's more to that, Sammy.
Oh, Miss Fins is joining us too. So tomorrow night, Miss Fins will be joining us as well.
Nice.
There we go.
That's the best part of this whole thing, honestly. This season has been tough, but this is really cool.
Getting everybody together, no doubt. Guys, so again, if you didn't answer the question, put it up one more time. Last call on the question. If you don't want to answer it here, we'll drop it in the comments after the show's over and official. But again, we're only accepting the comments either on here live or in the comment section. It's only fair. That's the only way we can do it. We can't take it online. So last chance for that, and then put up your Panther.
Yes. All right. So before we let you go, let's end on a positive note.
Yes,
and when I mean positive, I am not talking about Dolphins football right now. No. I am talking Florida Panthers hockey. Open tonight was Tuesday. I'm going to put up some pictures here. I put them up. We were there. This is a picture of us with Miss Fins. She joined us. This is after the game, so we were happy because obviously the Panthers won. We saw the championship banner go up. I also have, we had a lot of people join us in our group. It's a beautiful group picture of us as well.
Leslie's there, Jeff, and Adam.
And Adam,
we have some great friends that joined us and got to witness history. I mean, that definitely this is the great. I took the shot. So proud of the shot.
Don't steal the shot.
This is my shot, my photography work.
That's what he's saying.
Allie was talking earlier about it. She's a photographer. Well, hey, listen, this was my shot, and this is something not to be taken for granted. For the second year in a row, we were there on opening night when the Panthers raised a championship banner. And this is, again, not to be taken for granted. We're talking about the Dolphins previously. They have not done this. As a matter of fact, you couldn't even take a picture like this because there's no iPhones back then. It's been that long.
That's
and
Well,
so
cars? I don't even know if there were cars back then.
yeah.
Here's another one. This is Big C's. Big C's is a great friend of ours.
And a super
The
fan.
biggest Panthers fan.
Oh, yeah.
I know. He's top.
I got to get to some of these games.
Let us know. It's a hike from us. Obviously, we both live in Miami here. But it's let me see if this one will come up here. Let me take this one off. There it is. There's Big C. There he is. And then
he is the man. He's awesome. He is a
rock
Cowboy
star.
fan. It's the only thing
that's harmless. Shout out to Lou. Even though you were here, I'm shouting you out. You had so Lou. There was people that came up to Lou, and there's even like a lady. She was like, "Can I take a picture of him?" I said, "Of course." So like his jersey was like the star of the show.
That's nice, man. I like it.
My boy Tom custom made this for me. And he does great work. So I could definitely, he does all kinds of jerseys and he could definitely make this happen. I wanted to do something unique and special. So I did the back-to-back 25 and, come on, it was a good way to commemorate this back-to-back championship.
So some of our friends here, Jimmy said, sorry, Panthers, go Bruins, but go Marchie. You can never have him back. He is ours.
Whoa.
Miami Mike, sorry, Red Wings friend here. All right, guys. Well, if you want like a championship team, you're more than welcome to come to the Panther side.
And before we even got to the Emirates Bank Arena, we were reunited with our good friend Stanley. We were able to see him back for where he rightfully belongs.
I love this picture.
And so here you'll see it, Stanley, right outside,
so handsome,
right outside the arena, and hopefully he takes a permanent residence down here in South Florida.
Oh yeah, I mean they had some tough injuries, but man, I trust this team to stay afloat. All they gotta do is stay afloat. Stay afloat with obviously the Barkov stuff, and Kachuk's when's Kachuk coming back? Like holiday time? Yeah. So stay afloat. You got Lundell there to see if you can, for Hagee, in that first line with Marchie and the young kid Samiskevich. I think he's got it. He's one that I'm looking to see take a step. So again, the biggest part is they found their guy to run the organization. That's the Dolphins. If we're bringing this back to the Dolphins, find Bill Zito. You didn't know who Bill Zito was before Bill Zito. That's Stephen Ross's biggest job. Not a quarterback, not a left tackle, the VP to make the domino of right decisions.
You have the Viola family, then you have Bill Zito, then you have Paul Maurice. That's like the trifecta. What I would do just for one of those guys to come to the Dolphins side.
Yeah. It's Bill Zito who hires Paul. It's you got to find the guy who looks in and says, "Hey, we had this high flying team that got bounced in the second round of the playoffs. But you know what? Our expectations are not mediocrity or having a nice, exciting team winning the cup, winning a championship." They trade Huberdeau. They fire their coach. The safe thing, a Miami Dolphins safe. Mediocre is they stick with it. They're not afraid. They move on. So he says, Huberdeau gone. This style's not going to work. Coach, not going to work. Hires Paul Maurice. It's a domino of right decisions. I call it that. And you have to find that guy. It's the most important thing. Is Stephen Ross capable of doing that? That's the question.
That is the question, no doubt. And again, Paul Maurice 5-0 in game sevens. The guy is just a proven winner. The organization is like the anti-Dolphins, and they locked all the important players up long term. They made the tough moves. We saw Spencer Knight on opening night on the other side of the ice with the Chicago Blackhawks. Great goalie for us. Now they're starting goalie, but they flipped him for Seth Jones, a tremendous defenseman that had a big role in winning this championship, most previous championship last year. So every decisions that they made have hit, and they've locked all these guys up long term. So even though they're without Barkov and Kachuk to start with, they are set up for 5 to 6 years to have more opportunities to win championships. That's all you can ask for.
Adrian has the solution. I mean, he's just so spot on, and he's a realistic. Just have Bill run both teams.
I love
Genius.
it.
Genius. Probably good. Because he was a player agent before. He was on the business. He wasn't like a personnel guy, but he just knows people, understands. The two things I want, we're bringing Panthers and Dolphins together, is conviction and foresight in my new guy who runs his team. Those two things. You got to have it. You got to know when to get in, know when to get out, and you have kind of conviction in your plan and not be afraid. Those are the three things, And,
well, we're really looking forward to Florida Panthers hockey this season. Obviously, we're missing Barkov and Kachuk. Kachuk will be back way before Barkov, but the show will go on, and it's going to be okay.
So they did it. I want to mention they did a very nice tribute towards Spencer Knight. at the opening night, and he was, he gave a nice. He took his mask off, and he was very thankful, very appreciative. So that was a nice moment.
He dealt with he dealt with some mental health issues, right? Spencer Knight, I think. So he's a great kid. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Lou.
No. So that was very touching, and I know he definitely appreciated that, and it was nice for the fans to give him that nice ovation that he very well deserved for his time here. The Cats are actually in action right now. They're playing the Philadelphia Flyers at home. They're up 1-0 right now in the second period. So the Panthers, the game one's over. They got 81 more to go, and hopefully, like I said, we can get into playoffs and defend our championship.
Wait, time out for a second. So Eagles play tonight, correct? Right, Eagles, and then you have the Phillies in postseason action, and then you have the Flyers all playing. Wow, that Philadelphia is a hot sports town tonight. Yes. What about that?
The reason why we're probably not getting Russ and
a few of our other
Philly friends. Other Philly friends. They're busy channel surfing. You mentioned baseball. I want to just briefly run it down. We got the Toronto Blue Jays that eliminated the Yankees last night. They've advanced to the ALCS.
They look good, man. They're a hot team.
They look really good, and I didn't expect that because they have some injuries there. But they're the first team to move on to the championship round.
Well, I got to stop you because when we were in Toronto a few weeks ago, when they clinched, Lou said, I'm going for this team all the way. And I thought he was just like living the moment because we stayed in the hotel part of the stadium. So I thought Lou was just, really taking it in. But you called that, and I'm going to let you have credit for that. No, take it. You said Blue Jays.
But that was before the playoffs started. Then they had some injuries, and we don't know about that. But still, either way,
Blue Jays.
They moved on. So they're waiting the winner of the Detroit Tigers and Seattle Mariners.
Yep.
They're going to a Game 5 tomorrow night. So we'll see how it works out. And then right now, can you give me a score update?
1-1. I'm falling off my chair. 1-1. Bottom of seventh, bases loaded for the Dodgers.
So Phillies and Dodgers are playing a very pivotal Game 4. So the Phillies need to win tonight to force a Game 5 back in Philadelphia. And similarly to that, the Milwaukee Brewers are playing at Chicago. They need a win at home against Wrigley Field against the Brewers to also force a Game 5 and take that back to Milwaukee. So great playoffs. I love MLB playoffs. George, any thoughts on what's taking place so far?
I still stick with the Dodgers in this whole thing, man. You know what I mean? But I do like the Milwaukee. That team is to me interesting. But I'm going to the Dodgers again to win it again until I just think they're too talented.
All right, perfect.
I'm going to stick with you with the Blue Jays, even though you may not be sticking with that anymore. But you said it.
How about Blue Jays Dodgers World Series?
That'd be pretty interesting. And listen, technically, Canada is it's not technically, it is international. So they get a big cruise ship.
And that's a far flight. We talked about
country.
The flight, the Oilers and the Panthers. That's a very far flight from Toronto
coast to coast.
to LA.
We got our Heat coming too now, huh? The Heat, they're back in action. So
yes, and so thank you. Nice segue. The Heat are back in action. They're 0-3 in the preseason so far, but it's preseason. You're going to miss Tyler Hero for the first couple weeks, but hopefully Norman Powell. I love that move. They gave him nobody for him, so the fact that he's on the squad now, he could shoot, he could take the ball to the basket, create his own shot. So we're excited to see how he develops.
But positive news: Eric Spoelstra was announced to be the head coach of Team USA, taking a Steve Kerr spot.
That's right.
With his health issues going on. So really excited for Eric to lead that team. We know he has what it takes to lead a team to championships and everything, and he's very well respected around the league. So that is a perfect fit for Team USA basketball. Excited about that.
Perfect guy for it. There couldn't be anybody. If I had to pick a Steve Kerr replacement there, it's Spo, right?
No doubt.
We're in agreement.
And there's been rave reviews. He's a player's coach. People love him. And the reality is people thought, he won easily with LeBron and D Wade and Chris Bosh. Ridiculous. After that, he took another team to the finals, and then he took a different team to the finals. So he's taken 3 different inclinations of these Heat teams to the finals. He's a great coach. Always is able to right the ship. And so I love Coach Spo having this opportunity on the national stage, the world stage. So that's great.
Yeah, and Canes have a bye this week. I feel like they just were on a bye. They had a bye after the Bethune game, but they have another bye before they take on Louisville. Louisville's going to be a good matchup. We've played so many Florida teams, right? We've played FSU, we played Bethune, USF. So we're playing an out of Florida team against Louisville. and that'll be next Saturday. So you Canes fans, come to the Dolphins side, take a breather. Your team is fantastic.
Bring some of that winning. Bring some of that winning energy with you.
Right?
Yes, please.
Please.
Some
Please
dogs.
do.
Hot dogs on that team.
Bring Mario
Hopefully.
Cristobal as well. Just kidding.
Yeah.
But not really. But no,
So we pretty much covered it all. George, we thank you for joining us.
Yes.
And before we let you go, first of all, again, everybody, looking forward to seeing you out there on Fan Club weekend. Saturday
and Sunday.
Afternoon and the night, and then tailgating, and then during the game. So looking forward to that. But George, tell everybody how they can follow you and get all the latest stuff that you're doing. You got amazing things coming out. So let everybody know how they can get on board and see it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I just want to say too, I'm looking forward to meet a lot of you. I haven't been out to many of these events. I went out to that one event that we met. So I'm looking forward to meeting all of you and sharing in this this therapy session that we're having, and kind of forget about the team for a little bit. But
very good way to say it.
Yeah, the Fins Faithful podcast on YouTube, on X is Fins Faithful POD. You can follow us. We got tomorrow at noon, pretty much 90% confirmed. We're gonna have a lunchtime special. Tony Pauline had that report about Mike McDaniel and what he's hearing about Mike McDaniel's future and Chris Greer and possible replacements. We'll have Tony Pauline at lunchtime tomorrow at noon on the show with us to get the latest inside information he has. And of course, Saturday we have Countdown to Game Day. Me and Curtis. It's a great show. It's early. It's Saturday at 10:30 a.m. But we go break it down with X's and O's and all 22, all that nerdy fun stuff. And then of course post game will be not this week. We're usually live right after the game, but this week I'll be at the game, so we'll be live probably 7, 8 at night. But yeah, just search us on YouTube. Give us a subscribe, follow, and if you like our stuff, go ahead. We put a lot of passion. If you know me, I do a lot of research. I speak with passion, and I think I know what I'm talking about sometimes. I don't know.
You do, no doubt. So yeah, there you have it. Definitely give them a follow, give them a subscribe. Does great stuff, great Dolphins content, and you don't want to miss it. So 100%. And yeah, give us a like and subscribe.
This Finn said it.
We don't like to say it.
You guys, follow you. Yeah, you guys do great work. Follow you. Do that. All that good stuff.
Sammy said you're show off. He's calling you out.
Yeah. I'll talk to Sammy on the phone. Sammy and I are going to have a conversation as soon as this show's over. You know that.
All right, George. Well, I cannot wait to see you Saturday and Sunday. And then for a future Florida Panthers game, definitely we have to make it out there with brother. Maybe I'll go out there, go to Flanagan's quarterback. We'll have a good time. Pick a Saturday game or something. So book it.
Yeah.
All right, George. We'll catch you.
Guys.
Okay.
Take care.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on the next edition. And hopefully the Fins can do something to get this win this Sunday.
Must win, like we've been saying for the past 5 weeks.
All right. Good night, guys.